Ray, you can't help but go back to your last fight. I want to ask you briefly. I mean, how much do you think about or watch? I mean, the submission that it was. I mean, how does that live in your mind, man? Do you hate that moment? Do you respect that moment? How does it live for you?
You know, I moved past that moment. Like, you know, it happened. I mean, it happened against someone who wasn't just some average Joe in the UFC. You know, it happened against Demetrius Johnson. You know, I was 24 years old, so I try to move past it the best I could. The only time it pops up is every week. It's like, Ray Borg, you were tagged in a post. Oh, okay, check it out. Oh, it's me getting armbarred. So, oh, hey, you're in the video game. Oh, it's me getting armbarred. So it's there, but I mean, as far as psychologically, I've moved past it. I mean, there's no need to, you know, dwell on it. He's done all kinds of great things in the sport, so, you know, it is what it is.
Yeah, very nice. I wanted to ask you what kind of lessons you took out. I mean, you can't question Demetrius' greatness, right? I mean, he's fantastic. So, I mean, did you take a lot out of that? I mean, being in there with a guy that high level, I mean, is that something like, you know, valuable experience to you?
Yeah, it was absolutely a valuable experience, both mentally, you know, technically, things like that. He hit me with some stuff that I never even seen before. I was like, there was a couple times during the fight I was laughing and smirking, and it wasn't just to kind of be a punk. It was like, oh, you know what? That was sneaky. I've never seen that before. Just little shoulder jabs from weird places or anything like that. But it really did show me that there are levels to this sport, and the reason why it helped me out psychologically is it helped me better as a fighter, primarily because, you know, I'm at this level. I'm fighting for the title. You know, I don't quite know where I'm at until I'm tested. So, you know, fighting DJ, I went home and I was like, you know what, there really is levels to this, and not quite at that level, but what that does for me is it gives me a whole world of stuff I need to work on. So it even made me better technically as a fighter. Very cool. So it's been 6 months since then. What's the focus like? What's the process been like, you know, kind of taking those lessons, applying them to yourself, and getting ready for this fight? You know, it's been the longest camp of my life, probably, to be honest. I mean, I was supposed to fight Moreno in February, and that fell through, but we wanted to keep this matchup, so we agreed to, you know, prolonging it a couple extra months. So, you know, it's just been kind of keeping a good work pace, you know, making sure I'm not killing my body, but at the same time getting the work that I need, and, you know, primarily more of fixing things I need to fix as far as my striking, my grappling, my wrestling, and, you know, just getting better all around as a fighter. Family life has changed a little bit for you as well? Yeah, man. My wife gave birth last week. You know, he's a little earlier than we thought it was going to be the week after my fight, but he was a little earlier. And man, it's craziest thing I've ever been through, being in there and everything like that. I told her, I was like, man, fighting is way easier than this. This is the craziest thing I've ever gone through in my life psychologically. Was that, I mean, so I was wondering how the timing worked out. So it was earlier. I mean, was there any thought of like, maybe I should pull out and not have this fight? Or I mean, was that a discussion at all? Or how did it go? It would have been worse if it was on fight week. If it would have happened while I was here, then I would have been mentally distracted. It really would have threw my, you know, I'm not gonna lie, I would have threw my drive off. I mean, there's a couple guys who've had their babies on UFC fight week, and I don't know how they did it, because it's a crazy experience. But no, man, I didn't know what to expect mentally out of it when I saw him and when he was born. And I'll tell you what, like, just like that, life changed in an instant, and it kind of just, this drive, you know, like sparked under me, like, man, I got a little person now. He's mine, you know. He's not like a bunch of, you know, we hang out with a lot of kids, you know, it's not like we can give him back. He's my kid. I gotta get in there, and I gotta go whoop Moreno's ass, so, you know, he can have all these great things in life and he can have a good life. So it just drove me even more, and it was kind of like, you know what, I need to fight. I need to go in there. I need to handle business. Nice. Did you get the free pass early on, at least in preparation, like none of the midnight feedings and the midnight diaper changes? Yeah. Did you get a pass on that at least? Yeah, I got a pass. So so, you know, luckily, but after this fight though, it's, you know, it's time to go home and get shit done. Nice. All right, let's talk about the matchup with Moreno. I mean, a tough guy, right? I mean, he's got a lot of hype behind him. You know, of course, he had the loss, but still, I mean, he looks like a talented guy. You know, you're coming off a championship, you know, performance. So, was like motivation tough, or was it difficult? You know, preparing for a guy that's, I don't want to say not on your level or hasn't accomplished, but kind of a newer name. You know? No, you know, to be honest, a fight's a fight. I mean, even if I went in there, you know, undermotivated or whatever it was, when it comes down to getting in that cage, it always turns into a fight for me. It's you know, it's kill or be killed. So, you know, getting ready for Moreno was just the same as getting ready for anybody else. You know, that's one thing I've done throughout my whole career is I've never underestimated them, whether or not they're, you know, 1-0, you know, 18-0, whatever it is. That I never underestimate any of my opponents. And he's a scrappy kid. You know, he surprises people a lot. You know, I do feel like I'm the more technical fighter, the better skilled fighter, but, you know, he's fought some tough guys and beaten them just because dudes who've gone in there, didn't think too much of them, and got caught and got surprised. And, you know, that's one thing that's not going to happen to us.
Nice. What's the goal for you right now? I mean, again, it's going to take a little bit to work back to a title fight, right? And now it sounds like you got family to focus on as well. So give me an idea kind of what the mindset is and the goals, like what you hope to accomplish with this fight.
So this is just going to be the starting ground for another great run. You know, I want to go in there and I want to be as dominant as possible from start to finish. I don't want any back and forth exchanges. I want to dominate all the exchanges, even though it's a fight, you know, it's going to happen. But I want to dominate all the exchanges, you know, on the feet, on the ground. And then after that, I just want to strain together not just wins, but the most impressive wins I can, getting better and better each fight, showing that I'm progressing as a fighter, I'm getting better as a fighter. So when I fight DJ next time, I've earned it, and they'll know that I can beat him.
Yeah. You want to take the title from DJ? Is that
I do. Yeah. I do. I want to take it from DJ. You know, it was the craziest thing in my life, you know, being 24 and fighting him. And, like, all these dudes, like, even when I was scheduled to fight Ian McCall at one point, I was like, yeah, man, I used to watch Ian McCall, like, highlights because I loved to watch him fight. DJ, I used to love to watch him fight. I was just a kid when he made his, like, UFC debut. And to fight them and to see him across the octagon, the whirlwind of emotions, it was just crazy to me. So now that I've gotten a taste of that, and, you know, I know how to keep it intact, and I know it'll be a totally different mentality going into the DJ fight the second time. So, you know, I want to take it from him.